Do you? I want to talk a little bit about the crash. Have you followed up? Have you? You're a teenager when it happens, and then the investigation goes on. Then you go to college, and it took them a long time to figure out the cause of the crash. Mm-hmm. Did you keep up with it?
I did. My father did. My father was very interested in the whole thing, so he kept up with it. So he kept me informed in it. So.
Did that
yes.
matter to you? What the cause was?
I guess it didn't really matter a whole bunch to me. I still think of it as being an accident. I don't blame pretty much anybody for it. I mean, I don't blame anybody who designed something, or I don't know. I feel badly that they couldn't figure out what happened on this one, and that maybe other crashes could have been prevented, but it's so complicated. Talking about the cause and all the minute details of the crash is a much easier thing to talk about than the other things. So when you get together a lot of times with people who are involved with this, whether it be family members or friends, it's so much easier to talk about the crash in that way. And so you can still remember, but at least you're talking about something technical. And that kind of, brings you together, but not so emotionally close.
It's a real interesting point.
But I think it's important to a lot of people. And so I can respect that it's really important for someone to find the exact cause. For me, what I want to know is, how did all this come together, How did, a business trip plus a change in flight plans plus, all this just connects together to bring what, came for me. That's the question I have, and that won't ever be answered. So, it's one of those, what if this would happen instead of that? And you can't think about that.
So in that regard, you move on. That's where your point of moving on is.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say that I don't ever think about that, or it's not in the back, the back of your head, and you're thinking, what if I would have, or what if she would have, or that type of thing. Things would be completely different, and none of what I have now would be the way it is. And I would have never met some of the people that I have who are with, the flight, and I would most likely not have a lot of the great relationships that I have with some of the people if it hadn't been for this. So would I trade that all for a what if moment? I don't know.
That was one of the questions I had for you, is what if your mom were still around today? What do you think your life would be like? I probably would have never left Colorado. She loved Colorado, and she would still be in Colorado, and I probably wouldn't have left her. I would have stayed here, and there would have been some chances that I would have gone off initially, and I had some pretty, wild and crazy dreams, and if she would have let me, I would have probably gone off and tried to do some of those. Like what?
But there was a lot of things I wanted to do when I was younger. I was wanting to do, archaeology, and I wanted to go to Egypt, and I wanted to travel and do all those things. And if she would have let me, I would have probably done that. And then I probably would have come back here to Colorado and been closer to her. As much, I think that it was, as hard as it was for her to move
and leave family and things and friends in Iowa and move to Colorado. I think she really would have wanted me to stay close, and I think she would have wanted me to stay there. And I don't know if I would have, gotten married early or late or whatever, if I would have started a family the same time as I did now, but I know it would have been really important for me to stay close to her and have my family close to her, and that would have been important to her as my mother. So.
Did she ever tell you why she moved out here?
I've always thought, although she's never said, she was very independent, and she wanted a good career. And so when she had a great job opportunity out here, I think that was really the main reason. She had just gone through a divorce, though, and I think she wanted to kind of start over, and she wanted to start over without, her parents criticizing her, and people constantly reminding her about what had happened. I think she wanted a fresh new start, and so I think she moved out here knowing she can just start clean and move on from here. So I'm thinking that is, I was so young, and you just don't talk to your kids about those types of things. But like I said, I'm close to her friends, and they're her age, and so now we can talk about those things. We can talk about the little things that they used to talk about as adults, and we can say,
'Cause you've grown up.
Because I've grown up, and that now, her best friends can say, "Oh, remember when this," and "Oh, this," and talk to me about what she was like as a person, as a friend, and I can add those memories to my memories of her as a mother. And so I have to take those memories and their memories to kind of fill in the gaps. But these are all questions that, I'm always like, what if? Or I want to know this. And some of those questions no one has been able to answer yet. So